trailer means moving images, cool soundtrack, very, very dramatic angles, close-ups, opening shots, zooms maybe, okay? So first thing to do is line up a script, storyboard, then get everything ready, film, and the editing. All right, guys, here we are. Let me explain a bit more about what I meant about showcasing the items that are already here on my studio display. At the end of the day, it's like a trailer to introduce everyone to the creative things that are going to happen in this space where I actually will share my creative ideas or my ideas, whatever they are, with you guys. And so the idea is to focus on those elements. The teacup, there is the little toys, there is Nino, there is the cool penguins here. So the penguins are going to be a key element of my workflow. I always found them really cool and playful, and they give a nice idea of time because obviously suddenly it stops. So I am going to actually work a lot with the time effect, since we've got a pocket watch here, which is actually broken, and the penguin that can go forward in time and stop. I'm going to play a little bit with going forward and back in time. We've got this table here where things happen, where I normally stay. And probably one of the first shots, I'll have something here, not the smoke machine, but there you go. And then I'll get the penguin kind of walking down and then coming down and falling. Maybe that'll be the start. And then on the way at the end, I want it to loop. And it kind of almost like I'm going to reverse the same frame, just going back in time, you know, and then it comes back. And that will be kind of a nice little loop that will be happening on it. In terms of lighting, I'm going to do the normal 2 or 3, well, 3 or 4 in my case, light setup. This is a little diagram of my lighting setup. I filmed on the studio as well, but it's probably easier if I just explain here, as you can see graphically. This is my main desk behind with the abajur, I call it, but it's like a standing light. That's the one that is a yellow light. Then the main light comes from here, illuminating myself at the little desk here. That's me with my arms here. There you go. That's me. There you go. My big head. And so that's the main subject light. It's normally a warm tone light for me. Then there's my pattern light or background. For my background. And then I make that color slightly magenta for that setup. And then that's my other background light, which is the blue tones, okay? Which matches with the yellow here. So this is my setup. They kind of mix here in the middle, but at the moment I have 2 main lights, one for subject, one for the background. And these are like styling lights. Sometimes I have a fill light just to add some sort of light in this side of my face here, okay? And that would be that light source here. So that's the kind of my plan. I'm not sure if I'm going to use this one or not. We're going to try. But definitely there'll be something here. If I'm filming straight into this part and I don't have enough light, I'll probably use one of these lights to fix that. I have some characters that I have created in the past, like Tia and Siggy. I'll talk more about them in another time, another video. And so they're characters that I illustrated. One became part of a book that I did for children. Don't worry, it's not a bestseller. And the other is just kind of part of some of my illustrations as such. So I'll animate some of those characters into those elements here, like maybe over here with the binoculars, I'll get Tia sitting here. And then maybe the penguins or something here. Some of the illustration books I bought some time ago to get myself back into illustrating. So I'll probably use the penguin here, maybe add some sort of weird animations on the side and here. Yeah, I think that works. And obviously my pencils as well. Make sure maybe there's some lighting on the umbrella, and maybe I'll do one of the characters from the book flying around here, or Siggy or something like that. This is where the storyboard comes very handy, because I then look at the scene that I set up now and say, oh yeah, I want this angle. And I make sure that way I know the order of things. I know what angles and crops I like, you know, whether it's a close-up or whether it's further away. And yeah, it makes, particularly when you're shooting, much easier, because otherwise you just start gathering content for the sake of it and not having a clear plan. That's just some rough sketches based on what I can remember from my scene, but that gives a nice starting point. Doesn't mean things can't change, being quite flexible and nice and easy. Okay, so let's start with that. I'll go film and then I'll come back and show you my editing workflow. Okay, bear with. Okay, so here it is, my timeline, guys. Some of the footage, some of the graphics I created, some graphics that I use as assets, but the main animations are gonna happen afterwards, okay? So just so you can see the beginning, something like that. Okay, the music, I'm not gonna spoil too much, but you can see the timeline. Got lots of different clips here. The graphic here, the loading bar. I'll just minimize this so you can isolate. The loading bar I did with After Effects some time ago. I've been using for some of my graphics for a while, representing kind of my creative process when something's going on. Okay, so that is kind of it. And then in isolation, I got some of the shots that I wanted. I mentioned, I added actually something I hadn't mentioned to you guys before. Some of the tools that I use for editing. For example, I use the iPad, the laptop, the pencil where I used to do my animation. So I thought about adding it because they're actually part of my creative process, some tools that I use. When I'm on the animation stage, I'm probably gonna put some kind of animator arm to represent the back and forth in time as well. Got my smoking machine working, look, there you go. And that is fairly cool. Some basic audio track, the song that I chose to be my trailer, and some basic audio for impact, you know, and things like that. So I'll export this now, and then I'm gonna move on into the iPad part. So I re-recorded a couple of scenes, more stabilized with different lighting, and I slowly started creating some new characters. For example, let me show you this guy here and show you how I did. I'm still working on the timeline for it, but my idea was to slowly, since we are talking about the big school of drawing, I was showcasing a timeline showing how I started the drawing, and then frame by frame, I added my little kind of skeleton with a cool hat, and then slowly adding the little elements to it, and from there on. And what I'm gonna do now, I'm gonna animate the hand up and down. So it looks like he's doing like this movement of playing the guitar, you know, holding the hand and playing the guitar. So you see that me doing that next. But I'm not gonna show you everything I did, otherwise you guys are gonna get bored to death. I'm just gonna crack on, and then I can show you the final result. Here we go, job done, finished. Obviously, I could keep on perfecting things and making different animations, but I think we got plenty here. Sometimes less is more. So if you guys are ready, I'll show you the final result. Lily, what? No, my iPad. When a dog invades your drawing table. Isn't it, Lily? Say, play. Play. Play.